Z900RS water pump reinstallation. This will help someone. Okay, so it took me a minute to figure out. So first thing you're gonna do is install this guy right here. And it is symmetrical, so it doesn't really matter which end you put in. It's gonna pop right in there. Okay. Next thing you're gonna do is grab your the drive shaft for the water pump, and we are going to install the star gear and the pin just like that. So you're gonna slide the pin through like that, and then you're just gonna seat it like this. Okay, and this one is also symmetrical. Once you have this, all right, another note is when you install your shaft with the star gear, make sure that the gear and then the outer gear are completely flush. Okay, that's how you're gonna know that the shaft is seated all the way. Make sure that these are completely even with each other. Go ahead and seat it like that, and you're just gonna rotate now until it seats all the way. Okay, so right now I can feel it's locked on to the gear it's supposed to be in. All right, now from here you're gonna grab this guy. For important notes, make sure this little guy is installed. It likes to fall out, and it's pretty important. Okay, and I recommend getting a little bit of oil on this. I've already coated this in some oil, so it should slide in, but this is usually a snug fit, this one. All right, so flat side it in toward the gears, and then just rotate until you get a nice fit and slide all the way to the back. All right, make sure you can't press it any deeper. You'll know that this one is seated all the way back, this plate, when you can look through this port and you'll see the little pipe I was just talking about, and you'll see that it's aligned. If you don't get this pushed all the way back, these gears won't be flush pressing against this little window here. Now, if you don't get this completely all the way back and you go to mount the next piece, which is this right here, this won't mount all the way. This will just, you'll get about here and it won't go any tighter. Don't force it, just restart. Now, you're gonna grab your main body, okay? The circular seal toward the bike. And how I orient this is I keep the drain down. And one thing you might, hold on. Okay, so then you're gonna grab the main body. Now make sure that you have these two spacers, okay, in these two holes. They pop right out, they fall out pretty easy. Make sure they're in the correct holes. The third one won't have a bevel for them. So that's how you know which ones they go in. Take this guy, and you're gonna find your drain, orient that down, and find the shaft, kind of seat it on like that. Okay, and then kind of line up the holes. So we're gonna just keep pressing, and there we go, perfect. All right, so that's all seated on there. I can no longer rotate it because of those two pins, okay? Now we have this. So now we're going to take our impeller and our 10mm impeller bolt, and I believe the torque setting on this guy is 22 Newton meters. So you're gonna go ahead and just get that started with your fingers to avoid stripping. All right. And then you're gonna go ahead and torque that down. All right, now a final check you can do after you get your impeller on and torqued is make sure it doesn't spin, okay? If it spins freely, what that means is the little pin on the end of that shaft has fallen out somewhere during the process. So you're just gonna take this off, go back there, get that pin right, and then get back to this point. Once you're torqued down, this should just move a little bit and lock. Okay. Once you've torqued the impeller bolt correctly, you're going to install your cover. Make sure the seal is intact. Now's the time to take a close look around and look for any cracks or anything that might indicate it needs to be replaced. This one looks to be good. So now it's going to be oriented like this. This bolt hole right here is going to be, it's going to lock into this, so this smaller hole right there, it's going to lock into that pin right there. So that's a good way to line it up. So it is connected. You're going to go ahead and mount it with the 3 8mm mounting bolts. Do not forget the drain bolt as well. So the water pump is reinstalled. From here, all you're going to do is reconnect your coolant hoses. Be sure to inspect these seals to make sure there's no cracking or dry rot. Reinstall the retention bolts for these 2 hoses. Refill your coolant and your oil to the proper levels. Reinstall your gear cover, and you're good to go.